Give
This
me a moment.
conference will now be recorded.
Fine. So like in this demo, what we are going to do, why we need to learn Python, why Python is needed. This is the first thing we are going to learn. Okay. So before we start Python, try to understand what here is like. Now currently in the industry, we are working on Agile. What is the meaning of Agile is, olden days we were working on software development life cycle called waterfall model. So in the waterfall model, on a short note, I can tell development was done by some people, testing was done by some person, integration was done by some other person. So when it comes to Agile, if you can consider three people, let us consider here you have three people. Okay. So here development should be done by this person, testing should be done by this person, integration should be done by this person. Here also development, testing, integration, development, testing, integration. So what I mean to say is, in Agile, every person is responsible to do every activity. In olden days, in waterfall model, the roles were well defined, but when you go to Agile, all the roles should be done by every person. So first point in the Agile is, generally in the industry we tell there is no team leader at all, because everyone should do their job perfectly, right? Now the specialty of this Python is used in development, Python is used in testing, Python is used in integration. That is the reason whoever is interested to settle in any IT industry, compulsory, whether you want to work on development platform, whether you want to work on test platform, whether you want to work on integration platform, then compulsory Python is needed. Strictly speaking, not exactly Python. Strictly speaking, we need scripting language. What is scripting language? Slowly we will discuss. Just for now, you just try to travel with us. That's all. Everything will be taking care. Just you try to travel with us. Fine. So let me put the summary here. Olden days, they were using waterfall model. In the waterfall model, development, testing, integration was done by different teams. Here, instead of person, if you can consider this as team one, team two, team three, every team were having separate tasks in olden days. But now, when it comes to Agile methodology, every person is supposed to do development, testing, and integration. Okay, that is where the Agile is becoming more popular. Okay, and even in Agile, there is another thing called sprint cycle. What is the meaning of sprint cycle? Generally, we have 15 days sprint cycle. Every 15 days, our product should come out. Every 15 days, whatever the work you did, our product should come out. That's what the meaning of sprint cycle. Anyway, leave it. Now, the question is, how Python is used in development, how Python is used in testing, how Python is used in integration. That is what the question we have, right? And why Python is becoming that much popular nowadays. So we need to see that. Let us take in testing. When you want to automate something, automate your test data, then we need what? Then we need Python. How I will tell. Okay. Let us take, this is your system or your tool, whichever the tool you are having. And here, this is your Excel. Let us take here, let us assume here some item 1 is there, value 1 is there, item 2 is there, value 2 is there. Going forward, Here you have item n. Here you have value n. See, we are not teaching you Python for now. We are just telling you where can I use Python here. That's what I am trying to help you out, you people. Okay, fine. See here. Now, the job of this tool is it need to validate every value from the Excel. So what user will take? Let us take here your tester. User is your tester. What tester will do? He will go to Excel manually. He will take this value and he will try to give it to the tool. Next, what will he take? He will go to second row. He will give it and you will see the functionality. Now, instead of this user, what we are trying to do, we are taking a person called test automation engineer. Test automation engineer means an engineer who can do automation and testing. What is the meaning of test automation engineer? Nowadays, this role is very much popular anyhow. Understand? So, what is the meaning of test automation engineer? Is a software engineer who can do automation and testing, right? What he will do, he will write a Python script, right? Where this Python script responsibility is to communicate between your system testing tool and your Excel. This is how we are integrating our Python with the output tool and input data. This is how we do with Python. Now, some person may ask, can we do it with Shell? Shell is also a scripting language. Can we do it with Perl? Perl is also scripting language. We cannot do that easily. See, everything is possible with everything. Understand? So, we can do it with Shell, we can do it Perl, but as Python community is very, very big, they have given a ready-made libraries to integrate Excel with Python. They have given ready-made libraries to integrate this testing tool with Python. That is the reason we always recommend you to use Python. So this is one important point I am trying to tell you people. Okay, next, just give me a moment. Well, now developer. Okay, how developer is using LTEL? Let us take developer is developing a project. In this project, let us take he is having 100 Java files. First thing, let us take he is working on a project where it involves like 50 C++ files he is having. Next, let us take he is having might be 10 .NET files he is having. Now, when he is having a project where he is having different languages to work on, what developer should do? Developer should go to Java compiler. There is a compiler. Compiler means we really don't discuss as of now. Just assume some software, right? Here you need to go to C++ compiler. Here you need to go to Visual Studio. I hope this is very clear, right? So what I'll do, I will try to create a Python script. The responsibility of the Python script is to take all Java input and send it to Java compiler and compile and generate some meaningful information. What is that? We'll discuss later. Same thing will happen with the C++. Same thing will happen with the what we call .NET. So try to see from the previous example and from this example, what is a common point you observed? Automation. Automation is a key for me for now, right? Now we'll see integration. Integrator is generally done by integration or system admin basically. Let us take in our company, there is a rule saying that every day at 10 p.m. server should be backed up. Fine. So server should be backup. Now the job is what? Server backup is my requirement. Let us take you are in India, some other person is in US, some other person is in let us take UK. So timings are different. Here 10 p.m. different 10 p.m. different 10 p.m. different 10 p.m. you need to do. So we need to have 3 people or 1 person who need to back up the respective servers. Instead of that, I will write a Python script where it will do this job. So let me put the summary for you people. Might be some people join late. Okay, see why we need to learn Python. Okay, if you learn Python, where you are going to fit in, that is what our target, right? If you want to become a developer, you need Python. If you want to become a tester, you need Python. If you want to become system integration engineer, like we have Microsoft Azure, right? Next we have what? Amazon Web Services. This is what system integration engineers do, right? So whether you want to become a system integration engineer, you want Python. So on the whole, these 3 people are using Python as what? Automation. If these 3 things are done by 1 person, then it is called what? Agile model. If these 3 things are done by separate people, then it is called waterfall model. When you go to an interview, definitely if you are having 3 years experience or a fresher, nowadays they are asking you what is the meaning of agile model, what is the meaning of waterfall model. We don't recommend you to give you textbook definitions. You need to give you real-time terminology. When you give you real-time terminology, then only the interviewer will be satisfied. Okay, fine. Now we'll go to another scenario. Let us take every person is coming to office and he is using thumbnail, thumb, right? He is using thumb to log in. So what I'm trying to tell, every person is entering into the office. To enter into the office, he is using thumb. Whenever he is using thumb, the attendance will be marked as present. Now manager is interested daily who is coming late. After, let us take the cutoff day time is 10 a.m. Now manager is interested to see who is coming late and he want to trigger a mail. This is what the target. Understand? Let me repeat the scenario. The scenario is every person is coming to the office. If he is giving thumb in the biometric, right? Biometric thumb, then it is marked as present. The manager has put off the cutoff time as morning 10 a.m. If any person is coming after 10 a.m., you need to write a mail. So see what we need to do. We need to have a biometric hardware. Biometric hardware. This is very important. Better you just focus here, right? Biometric hardware. Okay, and the data should come into some server, right? Well, when the data is in server, we really need to understand. Server is a database. Just for our understanding, if you don't understand database also, it's just a folder. Now in the server, how do you maintain a data? You can maintain a data in a document form, or you can maintain a data in a text form, or you can maintain a data in Excel form. Might be how we can maintain employee ID, time punched. That is how we will maintain generally in Excel, and date. So on which date, which employee logged in what time, on which date, which employee logged in what time. That's how we do, right? Fine. Now what is the requirement? The requirement is we need to know who came after 10 a.m. Then what should we do? First step, open server. Okay, open server. Next step, what should I do? Open employee log Excel sheet. Okay, I opened. Next, what should I do? Create a filter. Means what I need to do? You need to create a filter who is coming after 10 a.m. Who is coming after 10 a.m. Next, what should I do? Open mail and send an individual mail to every employee who came late. That's what we need to do, right? So try to understand. First step, opening a server. This can be done by Python, not required to do by manager. Next, open employee log sheet. This can be done by Python. Why? Because Python is having that provision. Next, Python surprisingly can connect to mail server also, and it can automatically trigger mail. It can automatically trigger mail. That's what the meaning, right? So from this point, now the advantage of the Python is some companies will use server as Amazon Web Services server. Some companies will use IBM server. Some companies will use Microsoft server. The specialty of the Python community is they have provided predefined libraries to communicate with Amazon server, to communicate with IBM server, to communicate with the Microsoft server, right? And we have predefined libraries to communicate with Excel. See, now the target is what? Why Python is becoming that much popular, and why we need to learn Python? That's what the only target we are having. And if you learn Python, what benefits you are going to achieve? That's what we are trying to tell you, right? Fine. So there are huge set of people, large community on the earth. They have already written so many libraries. The only job of a automation engineer is you need to find it and import that library. Find that library and try to import that library. Understand? Next. Okay, fine. Next, filtering can be done in the Python script. Next step, C, mail server. This is also very important. So, mail server, some people will use Google server. Some people will use Yahoo. Some people will use their own customized server, right? Now, Python will provide set of APIs for Google or Yahoo or anything, and it can automatically send a mail to all employees. The interesting point here you need to understand is Python is communicating to your hardware also. So if you are interested to work in embedded platform also, you need Python. Basically, I'm an embedded engineer. I work on embedded hardware, but still I use Python. So whether you want to become a software professional, interested to work on Java, or might be testing in Selenium or a robot RPF, robot process automation RPA. Next, whether you want to work on Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, or if you want to become a embedded professional, definitely the common technology needed is Python. So nowadays, whenever you are going to any company, the standard thing what we are looking is one thing is programming is needed for you to move on. Programming can be of anything. It could be C, it could be C++, it could be Java, it could be maybe .NET, it could be Adobe, it could be anything. Next, some database skill. Database skill is really needed. Next thing is OS basics we need to know. Next, servers. Next, Python. This is very important. These things, variety of things, might be you know C, C++, that's fine. You know one server fine. You know one OS fine. You know only Java fine. But the common thing we really need is Python. Why? Because Python professional can easily migrate from one platform to another platform or from one technology to another technology. See, one platform to another platform, in sense from software platform to embedded platform, or from embedded platform to software platform. When I say one technology or another technology, is Java technology to Selenium, Selenium to robot process automation, or mobile testing, what not. You can do everything with Python. The only reason is Python is having very large community. Next, that is why the Python is bringing you so many opportunities. Fine. Now, next, how we teach Python. First thing, we assume you don't know anything in Python. We will start from the scratch. Right? Second thing, we will be taking real world examples and we'll be explaining to people. Next thing, the another important thing is application based. Application based. Will be teaching, means most of the times in interviews they will not only ask you like what is a concept, they'll be asking you in which place I'll use concept. Let us take one small thing. Might be if someone really know Python, these things that you will be understanding. When we go to regular class, you will be knowing, right? When you keep Python in your resume as a fresher or as an experience, the standard question what you'll be getting is, what is the difference between, let us take some basic things between list and tuple. This is a standard question you will be getting. So the standard answer everyone will tell is, list is, see, this is just a demo class. For this, in our regular class, we'll be spending almost 2 hours or 3 hours. Understand, our intention is not to teach Python. Our intention is what benefit you will be getting when you learn Python wherever you be, and if you attend our training, what exactly you are going to learn. That is our target. The intention of today's class is that much only, not to what we call dig in detail Python in one day. One day it won't happen, right? Fine. So many times you see internet or so many places they'll tell list is mutable. Tuple or tuple, some people call immutable. This is what they tell. Mutable means what? Data can be changed. Immutable means what? Data cannot be modified. Data cannot be modified. This is what they'll tell you, and they'll give an example. Let us take L is equal to, list is represented using square brackets, 10 comma 20 comma 30. Let us assume this list is stored this way. First 10 is stored, next 20 is stored, next 30 is stored. If I write L of 1 is equal to 111, let us assume this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index. Now L of 1 is equal to 111. When you tell this 20 is replaced with what? 111. What is the meaning? In the list, data can be modified. Well, perfect. Now same thing what I'm trying to do now. T is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, fine. Now this is also stored this way only. 10 is stored here, 20 is stored here, 30 is stored here. 0 is there, 1 is there, 2 is there. Okay, fine. Now try to understand. Whenever you are writing T of 1 is equal to 111, you will get an error. You will get an error. Why? Because we cannot modify the data. We cannot modify the data. This is what you see in the internet. This is what so many people will tell. Okay. So what they are telling, what is the difference they are telling, and they are giving you an example. But they are missing the application. Very important. In interviews, in the real world, they will be asking you what is the scenario where you can use list, where you can use a tuple. Right? Now I'll give you thought process. See, our intention is not to teach everything. Our intention is to give you the thought process. Right? Let us take the scenario is like this. I want to store employee IDs. Now we need to go for list or tuple. The question is what we need to go for, what list or tuple. The scenario based teaching, right? So if you are telling tuple, the answer is wrong. If you are telling list, the answer is correct. Why I will tell. Let us take L is equal to 5 comma 8 comma 9. First employee, second employee, third employee. In the future, this employee left. Whenever this employee left, I need to delete this employee, right? How do you delete this employee? Del of, simple. See, don't worry about the script. Del of L of 1 means what? L of 1 element is deleted. In the future, some person came. How do you write? L dot append of 20 means what? We are appending 20th employee at the end. Means when I want to maintain all employees IDs, I will recommend you to use what? List. Why? Because we can delete an element and we can insert an element. We can delete an element and we can insert an element. Fine. Now take tuple. If you take tuple, t is equal to 5 comma 8 comma 9. If you write del of t of 1, immediately you will get error. Why? Deletion is not possible. Fixed data. Fixed data. If you tell t dot append, not possible. Why? Because we cannot increase the data, we cannot decrease the data, we cannot change the data also. This is one scenario. Second scenario I will tell. Listen. Now I am having a coin. I want to store possible results. I want to store what? Possible results. Can you please tell, when you have a coin, when you toss it, what are the possible results I will get? Head, tail. Now tell, if the possible results are known and fixed, definitely I will use what? Tuple. Let us take, I want to store months in a year. Every year, months are same only, right? First month will be what? Jan. Next month will be what? Feb. Last month will be what? December. Means the data is a fixed. So I need to use what? Tuple. Let us take, I want to know, might be match status. Let us assume match status. What can I tell? Won, lost. Means what? We are having only two status. Won, lost. There can be any other status. Our target is not exactly that one, right? Now I want to know week information. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? These are fixed. So whenever you want to represent a fixed data where you are not changing the data, deleting the data, inserting the data, any operation you are not doing, then you need to go for tuple. Whenever you want to modify the data, then you need to go for what? List. I hope this is very clear. What I'm telling is very clear, right? So what is very important for interviews? Very important for interviews is application based. You need to give an example with a real world example. Otherwise, then they'll end up in conclusion you are having bookish knowledge and the chance of selecting an interview will be very less. So better when an opportunity is coming to you people, you need to utilize it. Nowadays, opportunities are itself very less. So if you are not utilizing the obtained opportunity, then gone case, right? That is the reason you need to always explain the difference or any concept with real use case. That is what we are going to bring in our experience, what we are going to bring in and explain you these things. I hope this is very clear, right? Fine. Next, let me summarize what we discussed from starting, right, so that will be clear. So why Python is needed? Because Python is used everywhere. Everywhere means it is used in a embedded place, it is used in software, it is used in automation, it is used in everywhere. Immediately we have a question, why is it used everywhere? The only reason is it is having large community. Okay, so using large community we are able to get the predefined libraries from everywhere. See, even when you want to work with GUI development also you can use Python. You want to work with machine learning, you can use Python. You want to work on artificial intelligence, you need to work Python. See, that's where even nowadays machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science are becoming more popular. The prerequisite to go to this courses is also what? Python. This is another important point you need to understand. I hope this is very clear, right? Well, next. The another advantage of the Python is here you are having C, C++, or Java application. You can run this application in Python. The reverse is also possible. You can include your Python script as a part of this application and you can run. And what can we do? This C, C++ application can be included here and you can run. So what we are doing here, we are embedding. Here we are extending. So almost both look same, but the terminology only we are differentiating. Okay, so Python can be integrated with so many other languages also. That is the reason you need to be very clear on Python. So initially what we will be doing, once we start learning Python, we assume that you have some knowledge on C, because most of the people are coming out of the academics. So definitely C is a common, or C++ or Java. If you are having these things earlier, then learning Python will be easy. If not also, okay, we will take care of it. So slowly we will be comparing these languages and we will be discussing. Fine. Another important point now I'm going to discuss is Python is, this is very important point, interpreter based. What is the meaning of interpreter? We need to know, right? Here also so many people are having wrong perception. Let us clear the perception, right? Let us take, you are having your compiler. Here you are having interpreter. Fine. Now the question is, compiler based languages are faster, interpreter based languages are faster? We need to know. If compiler based languages are faster, why the hell I need to use interpreter? And same thing will come for interpreter also. The idea is you need to choose the tool wisely, right? Fine. See, if some person is really asking you, flight is the best mode of traveling, or bike is the best mode of traveling, or car is the best mode of traveling, right? See, you can never tell flight is always best or bike is always best, car is always best, right? So within the city, from one point to another point, I can use bike. Good programming practice, right? From one city to another city, I can use car if it is very small. If it is a very big, let me take one country to another country. Imagine you, if you can tell bike is always best person. If this is one country, if you want to go to other country, might be in between only we may die. Gone case, right? So you can never tell car is always best person. You are in the home. Let us take, you want to bring one milk packet. You cannot take car, go somewhere and bring 20 rupees milk packet. It's a foolish thing, right? And flight. Let us take, from here you want to go to movie. You can never take flight. I hope this is very clear, right? So here also, never argue. Interpreter is always good person. Compiler is always good person. That's what software engineering is all about. You can never tell always 2000 rupees note is good person, 100 rupees note is bad person. You can never tell 5 rupees coin is very bad person. You can never tell. Imagine you want to buy a banana where you are giving him 2000 rupees note. Imagine the situation of you. They'll give you left and right like anything, right? So you need to know really like which scripting language you need. I mean, say you need to choose interpreter based language you need to choose, or compiler based language you need to choose. That is our intelligence. That intelligence we will give you wisely. We are going to take the decision. Fine. So now, what generally the perception is, compiler based, first compile all lines, next execute. Here what they will tell, compile and execute run parallelly, right? So most of the times people are telling, in the case of compiling, all lines are compiled. In the case of interpreter, line by line is compiled. Understand, little important. In the compiler, all lines are compiled. In the interpreter, line by line compiled. What do you mean by that? In the first case, also you are compiling all the lines. In the second case also you are compiling all the lines. See, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. In the compiler, how will you compile line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4? In the interpreter also, how will you compile all the lines? Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4 only, right? Then what is the difference? You need to know. So it's not about compiling all the lines and compiling line by line. Compiling all the lines meaning is it line by line, right? It's not that way, right? Now I'll just take one small example so that you will understand. Now let us take, we are going to third class. Now we are in third class. Third class means school age. I'm telling the school age. One ma'am asked to write essay on cow. How that small kid is writing, just understand. The kid is writing like this: cow is in white and black. Next he is writing like cow will give milk. Next he is writing using milk we can make tea. So he wrote 3 points. Ma'am is appreciated that guy. Second day, ma'am is asking the student to write essay on bus. How this kid is, this kid is really intelligent, like us only. How is he writing, he is writing, I am traveling in a bus. In the bus, I saw a cow. From the bus, I saw a cow. Again, he is writing, cow is in black color and white color. Cow will give milk. Using milk, we can make tea. So, ma'am thought this guy is little street smart. Third day, ma'am asked to write essay on movie. Let us assume this fellow is writing this way. I went to movie. In the movie, I saw cow. Cow is in black color, white color. Cow will give milk. Using milk, we can make tea, like that he wrote. So ma'am is thinking this fellow favorite animal might be cow. He is writing every time cow. Okay. Now we'll see. See, whenever he is writing essay, understand, first line he wrote, cow is in black color and white color. Cow will give milk. Using milk, we can make tea. Using milk, we can make sweets also. That's how he wrote, right? Fine. Now listen. This is very important. Ma'am will see first line. If first line is valid, then ma'am will come to see second line. If there is a problem in the second line, ma'am will send it to the student. Kid, go and verify your second line. Then only I will see the third line. Then only I will see the third line. Ma'am will be telling like that. I hope this is very clear. Understand? Whenever you are writing essay and giving to ma'am will see the first line. If the first line is valid, then ma'am will come to where? Second line. If there is a problem in the second line, ma'am will tell, I will not check the remaining lines. You go and verify the remaining lines, right? You go and verify the remaining line. You go and correct the line. Then only I will verify the remaining lines. Okay, this kid is innocent. You will go and verify that line. Ma'am will see this line valid. Again, there is a problem in the fourth line. Right here. When there is a problem in the fourth line, ma'am will go there and tell you correct the fourth line, then only I will see the fifth line. Means what? In the case of interpreter, if there is a problem in any line, we will stop there only. We will not come to the below lines. That is what interpreter. Now, let us assume this kid came to 9th class. Now you want to write an essay. Same essay might be. He wrote first line, he wrote second line, he wrote third line, he wrote fourth line, he wrote fifth line, he wrote sixth line. Now let us take 9th class means sir will come into picture. Smallish ma'am only will be there, right? Fine. Now what sir will do? First line valid, second line valid, third line there is a problem, he will round off the problem. Fourth line valid, fifth line valid, sixth line there is a problem, we will round off the problem. Seventh line valid, eighth line there is a problem. Means what? What sir is doing? Even though there is a problem in the third line, he is going to move to the fourth line. He is going to move to the fifth line, sixth line, seventh line. So he will round off all the problems and he will throw that book on our face. That is what compiler. I hope this is very clear, right? So compiler, even though there is a problem in this line, compiler will compile this line also. But in the case of interpreter, if there is any problem at this line, interpreter will never go to below lines. Okay, fine. Now, the another important point of the interpreter is first line, if there is no problem, it will compile and execute. Compilation and execution is done line by line, line by line. In the case of compiler, compilation is done first. If all lines are compiled, then only we are going to the execution. That is the reason we are going to call this as compiler based and this as interpreter based. What are the examples of compiler based? Let me write it here. The examples of compiler based is a C language, C++. The example of interpreter based is a Python. The example of both is Java. Now, some people may ask you, Java is a compiler based or interpreter based? Java first phase is a compiler based, second phase is interpreter based. In Java, we need to first compile, after that we need to interpret. I hope this is very clear, right? Now C is compiler based, Python is interpreter based. So see here, in the case of compiler based language, we are able to get more than one error. Error 1, error 2, error 3. So you will get more errors, right? In our life also, whenever we are writing the program for the first time, you will get at least 3 or 4 errors. I got so many errors. When we get more errors, then only we can sit and solve, right? Fine. So compiler based, we will get more errors, but interpreter based, at any given point of time, you will get only one error. So what is compiler? Now you need to tell the answer, right? Compiler means we are compiling all the lines one by one. After that, we are executing. That is the first point. Second point, what you need to tell, in the case of compiler, even though there is a problem in the third line, compiler will go to the fourth line also. These are the two important points. So what is the conclusion? At any given point of time, you will be getting more than one error. Next, interpreter. What is interpreter? Interpreter will compile and execute each and every line individually. If there is a problem in the third line, interpreter will not go to the next line. That is what very important point for me. Next, at the case of interpreter, at any given point of time, we are not going to the next line. So this is very important for us. Okay, fine. So I hope we are very clear, and like next 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I am stopping the discussion, and I want doubts or questions. What you have, you can ask me the questions. After that, I'll be discussing next point. This just I'm giving you 5 minutes so that you can raise your hand and ask the doubts also. Any persons are having doubt, you can just ask us, and slowly we'll be clearing all the doubts. We will go to the next point. Next thing, one thing you need to remember is like when someone is asking doubt, it is really benefit to some other people also. Don't hesitate to ask the doubt. No, see, we are not God to understand what is running in your mind, what is running in your heart. That is the first thing you need to remember. Not here in interview room also. Second thing, even you do mistake, not a problem at all. See, let us assume you are in a class. Might be everyone is coming from college, right? If you are doing some mistake, most of the times your friends will laugh at it. When they will laugh, when the sir is telling you did wrong, they also don't know it's wrong, right? But in interview room, even you do wrong, nothing will happen. Why? Because your friends are not there. So you need to express yourself. Even though you do mistake, no one will know, at least except you and the interviewer, right? You do blunder mistakes. See, in interview also, if you keep on speaking, when you are going to interview, the interviewer is also interested to hire you people. When you speak, when you express, when you throw your ideas, then only you can gauge you, right? That 30 minutes is very critical. If you want to gauge you people, then you need to speak. If you are not speaking, if you are hesitating, no one will help you, right? You are the person who should take care of you. No, like we are not God, no one is God to see what is running in your heart or mind. So you can express your thoughts, and what is really needed. If we miss something, you can tell. We'll try to provide it. That's the first thing. So, and other thing is, when someone is really expressing the doubt, others who are hesitate to ask, they will also clarify. So if there are 10 people here, one person is asking doubt, it will be clarified to 10 people. And going forward, better once the class is completed, my recommendation is, might be, I don't know whether this is recorded or not, you can take the recorded session and you can write the notes. Before writing the notes, what you need to do, first you just write what you understood from the session. After that, you maintain a separate book, write all the points in detail, and while going to interview, again not required to see the videos, better you can take the book and you can just run through the notes, so that it will be helpful. It's kind of revision. When you want to do the revision, it's a stupid thing to watch the video again, right? Just your notes should be there for you, because when you write the notes, it is your understanding you are writing the notes, not my understanding. And you need to be very serious, and you need to work on, because the opportunities are very less in the industry. Fine, might be we have Shravan, Umesh, Srikanth, and Shiva, Abhishek, Sudhir, and Mohan. If someone really want to express their doubt or any feedback, we are open. Nothing will happen, and we are not in the college where some person is expressing the doubt, will be cutting some marks in the exam, or will be failing the internals. That type of stories are not there here, right? It's an open forum where we are just sharing our knowledge. If you have some more knowledge, you can share to everyone. That's all. Knowledge sharing sessions only. These are all. Can someone speak? If not, I will continue to the next point.
We don't have
Anyone?
any doubt.
Well, that's good then. So if you don't have any doubt, there are two things: whether you understood everything or you did not understand anything. There are the two situations where generally we don't have doubt. No, I expect you understood everything. That's good thing actually.
Hi Karthik.
Hi. Who is that?
Sorry for this. Here is Sheshu here.
Okay.
Karthik, I have a general doubt. Basically, we are from application support. We don't know any programming language. But whether I need to go through the Python things and all. See, I'm planning to learn DevOps and things. So, how useful for this Python language or scripting can I go for that?
See, when you go to DevOps, there we do server integration, right? Well, I'll tell you two scenarios. First scenario is DevOps engineer who don't know Python, DevOps engineer who know Python. DevOps engineer, you can you can mute your microphone right now. See, DevOps engineer who don't know Python, still he can do the job, but his salaries will be less, opportunities will be less. DevOps engineers who know Python, he can perform his job better and salaries will be high because he is doing automation. For a DevOps engineer, without Python also, you can survive in the market. If you want to grow faster, if you want to switch from one company to other company, definitely Python is needed, because when you do server integration or when you want to do some automation on a tool, definitely Python will be very helpful. That's what I can tell. But even without Python, your job will be done. Don't expect 20%, 30% hike in your company. Nowadays, hike is less, minus 10%, right? That should not happen. Means the only thing is more skills. Not only Python, scripting, any scripting language is very much needed for DevOps. But strictly speaking, shell scripting is also important. That is the one thing. Second thing, we assume you people are laymen in any terms of programming. Means what? I really assume you people are just like a third class kid or fourth class kid, and we start teaching the Python from the scratch. So if some people are really knowing Python, that will be revision kind of thing. You can see the perspective as revision to you. If not, you can, it will be good for you. So no programming is needed for you people to attend this course. Because almost we are spending close to 2 months. Imagine close to 2 months daily, 1.5 hour or 1 hour or 2 hours. How much content we will be delivering? And we will be not using any hi-fi or wi-fi English. We will be using basic English only, so that everyone are comfortable in our session. I hope I answered your question, Sheshu.
Yes, Karthik. Basically, we are, frankly speaking, very illiterates of programming language. From last
Even we
6
need
years,
that
I'm
type of
working. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I'm asking. Thanks for clarification.
What you do know, Sheshu, one recommendation I can give you is you just attend 3 or 4 classes and see you are comfortable or not comfortable. If you are not comfortable, we will talk to you personally. What best we can do, we will do. If not, you can take your call, and Manadip will support on that for you. See,
Okay,
today we did not start any Python. 1 day or 2 days you cannot judge. Let 2 or 3 days session continue. Then you will be knowing at least 2 days. Okay, I am comfortable. If I am comfortable, then I can continue. If not, you can quit and we can do some other thing for you people.
okay, okay. Not an issue.
That's
Yeah.
what. Manadip, you can comment on that also.
Okay, yeah.
Fine. And Umesh, Srikanth, Shiva, Abhishek, Sai, Sudhir, Mohan, I think we are good to go, right? Still, any people who don't have any programming knowledge, just can I know them? I know Sheshu is here and some other people. Okay, fine. Well, now another interesting point I am telling for you people. See, now I'm interested to learn Python. That's the target we are really bringing. So some people are asking, sir, do we really need to work on 2.x? There are versions, right? Let us take, I'll give you a simple example. When you have a OS olden days we are having 98 and we are having 2000, Windows 7, Windows 11. As a matter of a fact, every software will have a version. Even you take MS Office 98, we have 2007, 2009, 2011, right? So what I mean to say is every software will have a versions. Even you take mobile, Android will have Android, what we have Downnet, we have ice cream sandwich. Even iOS will have iOS 7, 8, and 8. So what my conclusion is, every software will have version. Similarly, Python is also having version. One version what I am trying to tell you is 2.x, another version is 3.x. Now the question is, I am new to programming, which version I need to learn and which version you are teaching? These are the two questions we are having, because whenever we are interested to learn any technology, resources are very important. Then initially we strictly recommend you people to start with the latest version 3.x, and we are teaching in our class 3.x only. Might be 3.7 or 3.8, that really depends on the need. Next, then immediately some people will have question, sir, I am having some knowledge on 2.x, will that be helpful, or 2.x is not required or not required? Well, let me explain. As per official information from Python, till 2020 they are supporting 2000x, 2.x. From 2021 the legacy support is not there in 2.x, right? Now, is it really needed to learn 2.x in that case? Yes. Why, I will tell. See, when you are selected for a company, assume your company started porting the code from the old legacy system to new legacy system. Definitely, might be 5 years back, some people wrote Python script in 2.x. Now, company is asking you people to migrate that to 2.x to 3.x. When you want to migrate it to 2.x to 3.x, definitely you need to know 2.x also. That is the reason in our class, our major focus will be on 3.x, and try to understand. We will be teaching you some part of 2.x. How is it different? First simple difference what you need to remember is, in the first class, again I'm telling, you need to consider the problem with the Python. You need to consider 2.x as separate Python, 3.x as separate Python. I'll give you some example. The first example is, basically we know mathematics, right? See, when I do 5 by 2, we really know, I hope everyone will understand this. When I do 5 by 2, so we know 5 is an integer, 2 is an integer. When you run this code in 2.x, answer will be 2, because 5 is integer, 2 is integer. Why? They are internally following a backward compatibility from C language concept. The compatibility is taken from where? C language. Now let us take here 3 dot x. Now I am writing 5 by 2. What is the value of 5 by 2? Normally 2.5. Why 3 dot x? 3.5 or anything? 3 dot x. This is 2 dot x. This is 3 dot x. Why 5 by 2 is 2.5? Why 5 by 2 is 2.5 is they are taking the compatibility from maths. So that background story also we will be providing. Understand? Let me summarize for you people. See, the question is whether I need to learn 2 dot x or 3 dot x. The answer is straightforward. We need to learn both, but which should be taken more priority? 3 dot x. Why? That is a current system we are working. Then why should I learn 2 dot x? Because there is a scenario where all companies will ask the code to be ported from old legacy to new, right? We need to migrate. Every time migration is important. Then you need to know how the code is behaving in 2 dot x also. For that, I'm taking one small example for you. If I write 5 by 2, in the case of 2 dot x, answer is 2. Why? Because internally they are using C language as a background. 5 is integer, 2 is integer. That is the reason answer you got 2. But when you go to 3 dot x, same value when you run 5 by 2, answer will be what? 2.5. Why you are getting 2.5? Because they are getting the result from the mathematics. So every time we will take some background. Well, let us take another simple example, right? Let us take, I want to print something. How will you write here? Print hello. When you migrate, let us take you are there in the project. Just you move this code here, immediately you will get an error. Why? In the case of 3 dot x, brackets are mandatory. Brackets are mandatory. Understand? Very important point I'm telling. In the case of 2 dot x, brackets are optional for print function, but in the case of 3 dot x, brackets are mandatory. So whenever you are migrating, you need to have little intelligence, right? Now what we need to do, whenever you have 5 by 2, you got answer as what? 2.5. But if you want answer 2, then what will I take? I will take this code and I need to do some changes. What changes I can do is int of, that's all. Very simple, right? 5 by 2 will give you 2.5. 2.5, if you typecast it to integer, result will be 2. So whenever you are migrating from 2 dot x to 3 dot x, sometimes you are getting unexpected answer, sometimes you are getting an error. So to overcome that, you need to know the behavior of 2 dot x and 3 dot x, and you are ready to migrate. These are the core fundamentals I am telling. I hope this is very clear, right? Well, so going forward, our majority of the focus is 3 dot x, not 2 dot x. But like this, when this kind of differences are coming, definitely I'll be helping you people, and you should also write the notes. Notes is very important. The reason is we brains, as soon as we switch off this, if someone is asking you some question in Python today's class, in the afternoon you can tell, in the evening you can tell. When I ask you tomorrow, you will forget, because human brain is having tendency to forget after one day. So if you write it, at least you will remember for 1 week. If you revise it, at least you'll remember for 1 month. That is the reason we always recommend you to write the notes, because this is very much needed for core fundamentals. And another good thing is, might be when you know Python, migrating to other technologies is also easy for you. You can correlate that and you can move it easily, right? That's what, when you go to any new place, when you don't know language, you will use English so that you can learn that language, right? So that's where correlation also will be helpful, and will be covering the syllabus what we mentioned in our curriculum. We'll be going very slowly. If some people are feeling bored, don't feel it as bored. See the perception as revision perception. But definitely, I can assure you, even you are very strong in Python, per day, at least 3 or 4 new points you will be seeing. A new dimension towards learning, you can see. That I can assure you. Well, so I hope we are good with this. Tomorrow onwards, we will be starting a regular class, and better all people, we recommend you people to start connecting from 8:45 to 8:50 in between. The reason is, might be sometimes some people are having issues. So what you can do is like that 15 minutes or 10 minutes can be useful. 15 minutes or 10 minutes can be useful for connection settings. If you think let class is at 9 o'clock, I will start at 9 o'clock, then some people issues are there with the connecting. You need to restart your machine, or you need to replug your hardware like a audio jack or video jack. You need to replug. Then by the time I will start the class by 9 o'clock, 15 minutes if you miss, then you will be not in the sync. When you are not in the sync, you will be demotivated towards programming, and in your entire life you will not learn programming. See, demotivation is the reason where you will not learn anything. So for that, first 15 minutes will be very critical. So we recommend you people better join by 8:50 or 8:55. Ready by 8:55. We'll start the class by 9. If you are ready by 9, if there is any issue, again we need to wait for some people, right? Every time, because my initial concept itself will be very important. First 15 minutes concept will be important. After that, we'll be taking an examples and we will be revising. Will be what we call revise. We'll be seeing more examples on that. Every concept will be taking more examples, and will be what we call will be explaining you people. Okay. I hope our job is done for today. Tomorrow also we'll start by 9, but we'll hope we are ready by 8:55 at least, so that connectivity issues won't delay our job. Today is Sunday. Hope you people joined, but by tomorrow onwards, you people are going to office. So that also, no office dates. I'm sorry, no one is going to office. Maybe you need to start your work. Some people will have status mail at 10 o'clock, or some people will have stand-up meeting at 10:30. So for them also, we should not create any impact. No, that is the reason. Better we start on time and stop on time. So daily, initially, for first 3 days or 4 days, we'll be taking 1 hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes class. And once you are sync with my terminology, once you are sync with programming, slowly we will increase the class session to 1.5 hour. Slowly we'll increase the class to 1 hour 45 minutes based on the number of days, based on the syllabus. Sometimes we may take 1 hour, sometimes we may take 2.5 hour. It really depends on the topic and the pace we are going. When I say 2 hours, it's not straight away 2 hours. It really depends on the topic and your area of interest. And we have a target. We know what target we have, and we are able to reach the target. Fine, that's all. We want to sign off. Some people want to give some end up note, or some suggestions to us. We are open for that. You are taking class this way, don't take class this way. Try to write it on the system and show it. We are ready to show. We have already Python interpreter installed in the machine. I'll be showing that also. So we have Python here. I can take Python and I can show you something for you, right? That's there every time for us. So I have Python here. Let me take idle. So what I told you is like
Actually, you could see the paint only. We can't see the Python or something. Hi everyone, it seems Karthik is having some connectivity issue. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Okay then, fine. We will get back to you. Mandeep will get back to you, and I will get the feedback and all. Okay. Thanks for attending the session. Thanks everyone.
Internet
This
will be
conference
slow.
will now be recorded.
So let me explain you what I told you, right? Let us take your rating 5 by 2. So whenever you rate 5 by 2, you got 2.5. But if that was written in 2.5 system, answer would have been 2, right? Then what can I do here? Int of 5 by 2. So what is the answer? You got 2. So here,
Karthik,
which
are
version
you
I am
sharing
using?
something? We can't, means we
Yes,
could
but
see only Bluetooth and some settings actually.
1 minute. Share. One minute. Can you see it now?
No, it is showing some
Hello.
settings actually.
Now I'm moving my. Okay. Now can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Well, now you are able to see the Python interface.
Yes.
Yes. See, let me explain. So whenever you write 5 by 2, answer. Whenever you write 5 by 2, answer you got as what? 2.5. Right. Well, now I want to get the answer as 2. Why I want to get the answer as 2? Because you are migrating the code from 2.5 to 3.x version. Which version I'm using? 3.7 version I'm using. Well, so how do I do that? Int of 5 by 2. That's all. Whenever I do int of 5 by 2, answer will be 2. So I hope this is very clear. Like this, I'll be explaining you all the things in the system also. My job is done, Mandeep, and all people. Like, if you want to talk, you can talk, and I'm going to quit in just 2 minutes. Our job is done for the day. Tomorrow we'll connect at 9 o'clock.
Okay, Karthik.
Thank you. Thank you.